It is Thursday, the 22nd of May 2025. And of course, we bring you the live coverage of the Senate question and answer session. My name is Rumbi Chakanzi. It is a very good afternoon to you, viewers. Thank you so much for joining us right here on ZBC TV. Kindly note that we are also live on our Facebook platform, that is ZBC News Online. We shall be crossing over to the new Parliament building in Mount Hampton, where we have Ian Vambe on standby. Just taking a look at some of the issues that were discussed yesterday at the National Assembly question and answer session. These issues to do with how the government is assisting all the children who are not able to pay school fees, saying that leaving no child behind and no place behind. They will definitely make sure that every child get assisted when it comes to school fees. And then also the ongoing projects of road rehabilitation, they are still taking place, and the government is making efforts to also collaborate with the private partners who can come on board and make sure that Zimbabwe's roads are actually rehabilitated. So much that has been discussed in the sessions that are still ongoing, and also issues to do with the deployment of more boosters in those areas which are marginalized and areas that are finding it difficult to connect to network. And of course, it relies on the mobile network providers to also take a part. So today we are definitely going to find out what will be taking place in today's Senate question and answer session. This is the upper house of the Parliament. So we are going to cross over where Ian Vambe is on standby. It is a very good afternoon to you, Ian.
Good afternoon, Rumbi, and thank you so much. Yes, we are coming to you live from the Senate session happening right here in the new Parliament building in Mount Upton, where of course we are getting to hear what the senators are discussing, policy issues like they always do each and every other Thursday, and the ministers will be responding to these issues being raised by senators. And maybe just to give you a recap of what also happened yesterday in the National Assembly session, we witnessed that the Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Recreation, Honorable Emily Jesaya, emphasizing on the issues or the ways available to mitigate issues around abuse of girls, especially those athletes who are going for various sporting activities, to say the government is well equipped and doing all they can to ensure that there is safety within the sporting arena. And apart from that, the Deputy Minister as well of Primary and Secondary Education was explaining the government policies that are all encompassing to ensure that no child is dropping out of school or not going to school because of be it financial reason or any other possible reason. And apart from that, the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Honorable Mona, was explaining progress made so far and did promise that next week in the National Assembly will be giving a very strong statement at the Ministerial statement on the progress, looking at all the 10 provinces. And of course, he is in the building today answering questions being raised by various senators. We do expect a Senate to take on a similar course, discussing very key important issues within the agricultural sector, the transport sector, mining, education, among others. And senators are already in the House. The President is already making sure that the business is happening. And now let's cross over and follow proceedings.
As usual, we start with questions without notice. The floor is yours, Honorable.
Point of national interest.
Yes, point of national interest.
I would like to make a short statement in line with the provisions of our standing orders. And this statement is on youth unemployment in this country. Mr. President, youth unemployment remains one of the Zimbabwe's most pressing socio-economic challenges. With over 60% of the population under the age of 35, the lack of sustainable job opportunities continues to fuel poverty, migration, social unrest, and decadence. Despite possessing educational skills, many young people face limited access to capital, markets, and mentorship. There is an urgent need, Mr. President, for inclusive economic policies, investment in vocational training centers, and the promotion of entrepreneurship to harness the potential of Zimbabwe youth and drive national development. Mr. President, in according to this statement, I pray that the Minister of Youth or responsible for youth issues comes to this August House to just unpack for us the policies and programs that they have got and what they contemplate in an effort to mitigate the effects of unemployment on our youth. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Yes, questions without notice. Honorable the Imam Nyati Mackenzie Ngule, Honorable Kabondo, yes, Kabondo. Honorable Swanda, Chakabuda, in that order. We start with the Honorable Bimam.
Tinoda kukutendai President nenguva yamandipa. Mubvunzo wangu wakanangana na Minister vanogara vachiuya muno, Minister veTransport vamona. Tichikutendai nokuuya kwamunoita. Minister, bazi renyu rine basa rakaita rakanaka zvikuru rariri kungoita nazvino rinova basa rekugadzira migwagwa. Asi migwagwa iyoyo yakukuvadzwa nemazimota makuru, marori anenge akatakura zvinorema, mazhinji acho achibuda kuenda kune dzimwe nyika, zvinoita kuti migwagwa iyoyo yamagadzira yakanaka nenguva pfupi inenge yakuvadzwa. Zvinenge zvichitarisira ndechekuti zvinhu zvihombe zvakadai zvinotakurwa nemarori zvitakurwe nechitima chinotakura zvinhu. Tinoda kuti ndizivewo kuti mune zvirongwa zvipi kuti tichiona chitima chinotakura zvinhu chiricho chinofamba zvikuru kune nzvimbo dzakareba nedzinobuda kunze kwenyika dzakatakura zvinhu zvinorema kuti migwagwa yedu igochengetedzeka. Ndatenda.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development.
Ndinotenda vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare rino reSenate. Ndotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa Honorable Senator Bima. Ichokwadi vataura nyaya inosuwisa zvikuru kuti mushure mekunge tavandudza mugwagwa yedu tiri kuzoona zvakare ichiwanikwa ichipadzwa kungave nechovha mubayiwa dzinofamba dzimwe dzenguva vanenge vakatakura zvavanotakura zvisingatenderwe patinoti pachirungu tonnage, muhwandu hwacho hunobvumidzwa mugwagwa yedu. Tiri kuona kuti izvi zviri kukonzereswa nekuti tikatarisa njanji dzedu dzaisimbofamba iko zvino zhinji dzacho dzadzisiri kuvandudzwa kuti dzinge dzichifamba. Asi ndoda kutenda kuti nekuuya kweSecond Republic inotungamirirwa nababa vaMnangagwa 2018 chakava oro rakava donzvo rekuti tivandudze njanji dzedu. Zvinova izvo zvinoita kuti pari zvino tiri mushishi kumhanyidzana. Ndinofara zvikuru takabva taiswa pabandiko rinonzi Mutapa Investment, ndoyo inenge ichitibatsira kutsvakurudza mari dzekuti vandudze njanji dzedu. Kutaura kwandiri kuita kuno tine hama dzatiri kudyidzana nadzo. Tikaenda kuMozambique tine kambani inonzi CFM yakafanana neNRZ. Tiri kushanda pamwe chete kuvandudza njanji yedu inobva kuMachipanda takatopedza. Zvichireva izvo kuti muchikamu chatinacho chinoita zviuru 2 nemasere emakiromita ndo murebero wakaita njanji yedu munyika muno. Tinoona kuti chikamu 10% ndo chiri kuda kuti tinge tichigadzirisa kuti zvitima zvedu zvisazobheuka pazvinofamba. Saka ndinotenda kuti iko zvino ndo donzo ratinaro rekuti titange tagadzirisa njanji yedu kuti patinozoona zvimatroko anouya ava kufamba munjanji afambe zvakanaka. Matroko iwayo zvakare tine nyika dzatiri kushanda nadzo kwatiri kutarisira kuti tinge tichiwana misoro yezvitima uyezve nematroko aya atinezenge tichidhonza munjanji dzedu. Saka ndinotenda kuti urongwa uyu huripo tichiburikidza nekushanda kwandataura kwatiri kuita nemutapa. Asi ticharovedzerawo zvakare makambani anochera kuti anga aine njanji dzinobva pavanochera dzichienda munjanji yedu hombe, anonzi pachirungu ndo siding yamaiona nguva zhinji pamunopfuura nemunocherwa inenge yakanyorwa kuti pane siding. Saka tiri kuvarovedzera kuti vange vachive nenjanji dzinouya dzichiburutsa zvingave zvicherwa zvavo zvichipinda munjanji yedu yatinoshandisa yatinodyidzana nedzimwe nyika. Ndinotenda Mazvita.
Mazvita. Honorable Minister, supplementary. Honorable, I would like to welcome Honorable Minister James Soda, Minister of National Housing and Social Amenities. Supplementary, Senator Chafudza.
Ndinokutendai mubati wechigaro. Supplementary yangu inoti iyo pakutaura kuri kuitwa naminister varazati vane urongwa hwekuzotenga matroko zvichireva kuti anenge achibva kune dzimwe nyika sokutaura kwavaita achiuya munomu. Ini ndiri kuti munyika medu munomu ndofunga tinohwa nyaya yemanhizi yesimbi dziri kugadzirwa ipapo uye nekumwe kwose kunochekwa simbi. Ndeupi urongwa avo huripo kuti industry yedu painosumuka yosumuka wechikireta mabasa muno kuti kana zvichibvira matroko agadzirwe munomu.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister.
Ndinotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare rino. Ndotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa seneta vasumudza mubvunzo une udzamu. Ichokwadi kuburikidza nemakambani ari kupinda munyika yedu mamwe anoita zvesimbi. Ndinotenda kuti mukada kuona kuti dzimwe simbi dzatinoda munjanji medu ndo matinenge taakutora kuti tinge tigadzirisa njanji dzedu. Ndinotenda ndo urongwa huripo zvakare. Uyezve mukada kuona hunyanzvi hwatinahwo kuguta reBulawayo ndo kwatine factory inobika simbi idzi nekugadzira anga matroko edu. Saka muchaona kuti tichavandudza nekusimudzira zvakare nekuti vana vedu vazhinji vambenge vari kutaurwa muchinzwa munhaurwa yasumudzwa naHonorable Senator Zvizai kuti mabasa. Muchaona kuti vana vedu vazhinji vachange vava kuwana mabasa kuburikidza nekuti chamutsiridza mafactory edu andataura ari kuBulawayo kwatinenge taakuvandudza zvingave matroko atinawo nechekare nemamwe atinenge tichiwana kubva kunze kwenyika. Ndinotenda.
Thank you. Another supplementary, Senator Matviri.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Honorable Minister. I rise to ask a question related to the safety of our railway line. This in relation to an accident that happened last month where a luxury goods train carrying tourists from South Africa, I think, was involved in an accident with a goods train here. What safety mechanisms have you put so that the safety of our tourists is not compromised? Thank you.
Order, that's not a supplementary question. I'll give you the opportunity to ask your question. It's a question on this one, not related to what was asked. You have a supplementary?
My supplementary question is, we witnessed or we saw a consortium company that had come together in terms of delivery and refurbishment of locomotives for national railways. And I think this is almost about 3-4 years ago or 5 years ago. What happened to that?
Order. It's also not a supplementary question. It's a question on its own. I'll give you the opportunity to ask. Next on my list is the Honorable Senator Nyati.
Ngiyabonga ithuba Mr. President onginike lona. Umbuzo wami uqondane lo minister wezokulima ozomhlabathi lokulima. Uhulumende angabe elungiselele okungakanani mayelana ngokuhlanyela ingqoloyi, ngoba nginanzelela ukuthi isikhathi sengqoloyi solesi abalimi indawo eziningi sebehlanyela ingqoloyi yabo eyomnyaka ophelileyo bese sabela ukuthi izulu lizayinetha. Ngiyabonga Mr. President.
Honorable Senator, the minister and his two deputies are not here. I don't know whether any one of you would like to answer that question. I don't think they want to do so. Right, we go next to Honorable Senator Ngwe.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is directed to the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development. Honorable Minister, you have seen what happens during peak hours in Harare, where most intersections are highly congested. My question is, what plans are you putting together to increase capacities in some of the major intersections in Harare? Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President and let me also thank Honorable Senator Mackenzie Ngwe for that very important question, which should then make me articulate the policy of government pertaining to decongestion of our cities. And traditionally, urban transportation system falls under the purview of local authorities. They are supposed to superintend over such planning purposes, how to decongest, how to manage whether it's street lighting or our robots, among others. But due to the listening president, he then said, His Excellency Comrade Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa, that we cannot continue just saying it's under the purview of local authorities. Let's work together, have the whole of government approach, and precisely this is what we are doing. We are working with local authorities, we are working with Minister of Local Government to see how we can decongest. And indeed, it's a worrisome development that, yes, given the numbers of cars plying on a normal day, we are talking of plus or 1.5 million cars coming into our city. So you can imagine the congestion that we witness. But I'm also glad to say we've got now a solution. And as of next week, I'm sure I'll then also invite this August House to this memorable event that we are going to be witnessing, where we are going to be, His Excellency is going to commission the Trabablas interchange that was being talked about. And once again, to the people of Zimbabwe, those doubting Thomases that were saying maybe it's just a roundup, this is a magnificent infrastructure. We are talking of close to, in terms of kilometers, about 8 kilometer stretch of the interchange, and plus or minus 6 kilometers of outside roads within the precincts of this interchange. So in addition to that, we'll then have interchange again, which is grade separation at Rothmans. We've already started working on that. Those who are using that road today, we've opened another leg of the road. And as we move towards ZBC Mbare, we are going to be having another grade separation, a mini interchange. And we are going to rehabilitate the flyover at Simon Mazorodze. And good news again, in this coming third quarter, we are starting the Mavuku interchange to decongest Mavuku. And we also have another interchange at the former Jegas. Those who know the roundabout, we are going to upgrade it. And exciting news again, as you then move from the great city along Borodo Road, which is known as Legacy Way, we are going to be having 6 lanes of road expansion up to Borodo Police. And then from Borodo Police, we are going to be having 4 lanes up to Glen Forest Turnoff, as we then move to Domboshava. But in between, which is Legacy Way and Chechu, will be having a mini interchange again, And again at Harare Drive and Legacy Way, we are going to be having a mini interchange. The idea of mini interchange is to decongest so that other cars will be flying on top, which are the spaghetti roads that we've been hearing. So precisely this is what we are doing under the Second Republic, so that we manage our roads, we also decongest, and above all, we will be introducing the trams to actually collaborate what Honorable Senator Bima was saying, so that instead of using our cars, we use the trams. Those are mini trains within the great city. So you see a complete overhaul of our cities, not only in Harare, but as we also go to our metropolitan province. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Spanda.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Honorable Spanda.
Thank you, Mr. President. Minister, why don't we construct wide lanes by the roadside that will allow the motorcycles or cyclists to cycle on their own instead of maneuvering inside the roads?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I want also to thank Honorable Senator Swanda for that very important question. And if you look at the way our roads were designed, maybe it was the colonial mind. They didn't anticipate that we were going to be having an upper middle economy status as Zimbabweans. And they thought maybe in terms of numbers of cars, they were going to be limited. But as we then move forward, during our planning phase in the ministry, we are planning each road with a cycle track and the walkways, so that people will also promote wellness, where you can also train, jog along our roads, not on the road, but on the walkways, and also cycle track. And you witness this as you come to this August House from the city. If you are coming from city using 2nd Street Extension, you will see that we have already started having that walkway and cycle track. So this is the model of the roads that we are designing, to make sure that we also accommodate cyclists, we also accommodate those who are walking. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. The Honorable Senator Kabondo.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is directed to the Minister of Transport. I would like to say through you, thank you for coming and lending us your ears, sir. Part of my question has already been covered by Honorable Bima. Sorry. So what I'm going to do now is just to let the Minister know the situation on the Vic Falls Road. On Sunday, I want to let him know how long it took me to do 347 kilometers from Crossdead to Bulawayo. It took me 6 hours. That's how bad the road is. That means I was doing 57 kilometers per hour. The road is really bad. And we are no longer using the road because where there was a road, there are so many potholes. So we have to maneuver in the bush to go and join what once was a road up front. Thank you so much. I'm just hoping you are going to do something for us. Thank you so much.
You can switch off your mic, Senator Kabondo. The minister has actually announced that they are doing something on that road. I think there is a week where everybody talked about that road, led by Senator Mfumira. But perhaps the minister will update the August House on the progress which has been made so far.
Thank you, Mr. President. And let me also thank Honorable Senator Kabondo for that very important question. With your indulgence, Mr. President, I was also mandated to bring a ministerial statement to this August House, and I'm ready to deliver that. And in the statement, it will also cover the issues of this topical road, the Vic Falls Road. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Minister. On a supplementary on Vic Falls Road. So I'll give you the opportunity to ask. Thank you. The Honorable Senator Swanda.
Ngiyabonga mthungameli weSenate. Owami umbuzo uya kuNgqongqoshe wezemfundo kumbe yaphezulu kumbe sithi primary and secondary. Iqondane nalabo abasebenzela ugatsha lwezemfundo. Abasebenzi bogatsha lwezemfundo abasebenzele emahofisini abasuka endaweni ezitshiyeneyo babuya ngapha nxa uthi kule office labo elikhulu. Nxa sebengapha baswela indawo zokuhlala ezivela kuhulumende. Okwenza ukuthi khona baqine sebefaka izandla zabo ezikhwameni zabo ukuthi basidingele indawo yokuhlala. Okuyikuthi futhi kuba into ebuhlungu ngoba sokumele basebenzise imali zabo awumele ziyesebenza ngekhaya sebesebenzisa ngapha inxa ukuthi babe sebetshintshiwe ngomsebenzi bezisebenzela ngapha. Uhulumende uthi ngokuthi abantu bona labo izisebenzi zabo abadingele indawo yokuhlala ezabhadalwa uhulumende kumbe njalo ezaba indleko ezaphuma imali eyindleko engasiyo nale enkulu abayibhadalayo ngoba bona bevele betholani imali encane abangeke basuke futhi bayehlukanise enye ikhangela abantwana ekhaya enye izobhadala njalo emsebenzini. Ngiyabonga.
Sorry, Honorable Swanda. I was talking to the minister here. Your question is directed to who?
Minister of Education.
Okay, Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education. Honorable Swanda.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I did not get the question clearly in terms of the link between the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education and what she was saying. If she may repeat and specifically ask it straight towards the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education. Thank you.
Honorable Swanda.
Ngiyabonga mthungameli weSenate. Minister, umbuzo wami uqondane lalo osebenzela ugatsha lwezemfundo ngoba abantu engikhuluma ngabo ngabantu abasebenzela ugatsha lwezemfundo besemahofisini amakhulu khona lapha esigodlweni. Ngiyabonga.
Minister.
Ngiyabonga Mr. President. Ngibonga njalo umbuzo obuzwe nguSenator Swanda. Umbuzo lo awuqondananga le Ministerial and Tertiary Education ngoba ubuza ngabantu abayizisebenzi ezikumi uthi ugatsha lwezemfundo anzwisisa ukuthi lupilwa ngikhona ngoba ubuza ngokuthi nxa bebuya bezosebenzela eHarare kufanele bephiwe accommodation nakanothi lokhu futhi kuyabe sokuqondana le public service okuyo umqhatshi. Ngiyabonga.
Honorable Swanda, can you put your question in writing so that nobody will dodge, so that they are obliged to answer it?
Ngiyabonga mthungameli weSenate. Kungcono ukuhle ngokubonile ukuthi hayi lapha ngichaya. Ngiyabonga.
Yes, put it in writing so that they answer it. Honorable Senator Chakabuda.
Masvita enyumba wechigaro nengo yamandipa. Mubvunzo wangu uri directed kuna Minister of Home Affairs. Andizikana varimo kana vasimo.
Minister of what?
Home Affairs.
Amuna.
Oh, hapana vamwe vangasodavira.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next is Honorable Senator Matibiri.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is directed to the Minister of Transport, and thanking him also for his religious attendance to this Senate.
Go nearer the mic so that you can be heard.
Thank you. Last month, Honorable Minister, through you, Mr. President, a luxury train carrying tourists from South Africa was involved in an accident in Bulawayo. Given the significance of tourism to the economic revival of our country, and in particular their safety, what mechanisms have we put in place so that such an incident does not happen again, Honorable Minister? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. And let me also thank Honorable Senator Matibiri for that very important question, which is actually riding on a sad development where there was derailment of Rovos train, which actually plies the the South Africa railway line straight into Zimbabwe. And apparently this Rovos train was on a section which belongs to a private player, which is BBR, Bulawayo Bedbridge Road, railway line, sorry. So the private player gave a statement to that effect, since it wasn't a government railway line on that particular stretch. But however, as a country, we also have to take cognizance of the fact that we superintend over safety matters, and I'm sure they gave a statement to that effect. And apparently those who were injured were then evacuated and admitted and treated with speed. And I'm sure going forward in terms of communication, which is something that was more to do with human error, so we emphasize as we then train our drivers that whenever they embark on such a very important journey, they must uphold the issues of communication, which was lacking in that particular incident. And going forward as a country, that's why we are saying as we then resuscitate our railway line, we improve on our digitalization element. And it's also said, Mr. President, said that as much as we try to revamp our infrastructure, given the Dabuka, those who know the Dabuka railway line, which was, in terms of cables were stolen, 313 kilometers of copper wires were stolen. So you still wonder whether, in terms of us, what sort of Ubuntu are we displaying? As much as we rehabilitate our infrastructure, we find those who are also vandalizing our infrastructure. So in terms of safety pertaining to railway line, the only way out is the signals. And this is what we are working with. As we are rehabilitating, we are also improving the signal. Thank you, Mr. President, sir.
Thank you, Minister. The Honorable Zindi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, my question earlier on directed to Honorable Minister of Transport is on the issue to do with the purchase or refurbishment of locomotives for National Railways of Zimbabwe. As I said earlier on that we witnessed or saw some official kind of launch of a consortium that was supposed to buy the locomotives for National Railways of Zimbabwe about 4 or 5 years ago. What transpired to that? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. And let me also thank Honorable Senator Zindi for that very important question. And I'm sure the matter was also before court sometime, which was then deemed to be prejudice and sub judice at the end of the day, whenever we give information without the consent of the parties. But now I'm also glad to say the matter was then settled amicably between the parties, where in 2017 we witnessed that joint venture. Apparently it was then cancelled in 2019 through a company known as DIDG, which is Diaspora Infrastructure Development Group, a South African company that was also entering into a marriage of convenience, that we can say during that time, because there wasn't much that was shown to demonstrate the effectiveness of that contract. And apparently delivery was not met, and the contract was cancelled, where locomotives were supposed to be coming from South Africa into Zimbabwe, which is the rolling stock, locomotives and wagons, and apparently it didn't materialize. So there isn't much to talk about that contract, Mr. President. Now we are looking at other alternatives to make sure that we have rolling stock. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. The Honorable Senator Mzerengi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ndinoda kutanga nekutenda Minister wedu weTransport vauya kuti vazonzwa zvatinenge tichida kubvunza. Tinokutendai nekuuya nguva dzese. Mr. President, ndiri kuda kubvunza mibvunzo yangu inenge miiri mitatu. Wekutanga ndokuti tinotenda President neengagement and re-engagement yavo yadai makambani awanda munyika akushanda, asi mazhinji acho Mr. President anotakura zvinhu zvinorema. Saka mubvunzo wangu uri kuti dzingava migwagwa yekumaruwa kana migwagwa mikuru ndimo muri kufamba nemotikari idzodzo, kuti zinara irerukirwe hazvigoni here kuti vatarise mibhadharo inobhadharwa nevanhu ivavo kufamba kwavanoita nezvinorema izvozvo, uye kumabhodha kwedu hakugone here kuiswa avanoti mawaybill ayawo, kuti kana munhu akataura kuti ndakatakura 20 tons mushina unobva wataura kuti aiwa i40, vachibhadhara kuti tirerukirwe pakugadzira migwagwa inembe yakagadzirwa zvakanaka. Umwe
wakwana sofa mombogara pasi mozosumuka mozovhunza umwe wacho.
Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Minister.
Ndinotenda vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare reSenate. Ndinotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa Honorable Senator Mzverengi. Ichokwadi sekutaura kwandaita kuti migwagwa mushure mekunge yavandudzwa tinozoona ichiparadzwa nekuda kwekutakura pamwe zvinorema. Asi andoda kuyambira imba ino ndechekuti mukatarisa vazhinji vari kuchema vachizouya kuministry kwedu kukumbira kuregererwa nekuti vanenge vakatakura zvakapfurikidza. Vakabatwa neVID vari kurangwa zviri pamutemo zvakanyanya mazuva ano. Saka tinokumbira kuti musazouya nematsamba ekukumbira kuregererwa kana muchinge matakura zvisingatenderwe kunge zvichifamba mugwagwa yedu neuremu hwazvo. Zvinotibatsirawo kuti musatiomesere kubandiko redu. Asi chandoda kutenda ndechekuti vataura nyaya yakakosha. Tiri kuti vanochera zvicherwa zvedu takawirirana tikapiwa muono mumwe chete nemutungamiri wedu vanoremekedzwa baba vaMunangagwa kuti makambani anoita zvekuchera tichakurukura navo kuti migwagwa inobva kwavanochera tinge tichishanda pamwe chete nehurumende vachiivandudzawo, nekuti dzimwe dzenguva tinova tagadzira mugwagwa tine migwagwa inobva kwavanochera zvicherwa zvavo iyo isiri kunge ichitaridzika zvakanaka. Saka muchaona tichivashanyira tichikurukura navo vachigadzira ingave mugwagwa nenjanji dzanambotaura dziye dzine chizoenda kune njanji yedu hombe. Saka tichavarovedzera zvikuru kuti kana vachinge vakutakura zvinorema zviye vanenge vachigadzira. Asi ndinofara zvikuru kuti mamwe makambani ari kuchera iko zvino ava kutouya kwatiri kuti vange vachishanda nesu kuti vavandudze migwagwa yavo inobva kumamaini kwavo kusvika kumigwagwa mihombe yatinoshandisa sebandiko reministry. Ndinotenda.
Thank you. Supplementary, Senator Zindi.
Thank you, Mr. President. My supplementary is on the issue to do with way bridges that facilitate in terms of gauging the weight of loads, truckloads, haulage. For example, Forbes border post has got 2 way bridges under construction for the past 15 years. Why wouldn't it be completed so as to be able to raise revenue and also reduce the damage to our roads? Because the truck drivers, they actually acknowledge that Zimbabwe does not have particularly Forbes border post, does not have way bridges, and they take advantage of that. That's my question. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. And let me also thank Honourable Senator Zindi for that very important question. And she's highlighted the Forbes border post, and also to say, to appraise the August House, that good news again. We are going to be rehabilitating that entire border post, and also to actually mirror what we have at Beitbridge border post, and it will address some of those shortcomings. But we have way bridges. Yes, they might not be functional, but we have way bridges. That's why you were hearing me saying, in terms of excess loads, where people are being punished by VID, they will be using way bridges. But we'll continue monitoring. And also the culture of just getting tenders and not performing is no longer there in the Second Republic. And she has talked of one way bridge that was being constructed for some time, which is something that we don't condone as a ministry. And we are saying to those who then get tenders, they must also move and execute with speed. And I'm happy that as we are now rehabilitating the entire border post, we factored in the issues of way bridges, so that we manage trucks plying our Forbes Machipana route into the country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Another one.
Yes, on the Forbes border post.
Senator
Manyengawana.
Sorry?
Senator Manyengawana.
Manyengawana, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. My supplementary question to Minister of Transport is on for Forbes border post. My understanding, Mr. Minister, is Honorable Minister, is the way bridges were bought about 10 years ago. They are only seated in Harare. So, as your ministry, what do you intend to do to transfer the way bridges, which are still in Harare, according to the staff at border post, to transfer them and put them in place, so that we, as your ministry, you get some revenue, increase revenue collection. Thank you.
Honorable Senator Manyengawana, that is a specific question. Unless the minister wants to answer it, you actually can put it in writing. Minister? Yes, put it in writing so that he can go and look into that issue. Senator Manyengawana, are you listening? Are you listening?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, questions? Senator Chavangu. Love R. Funwell. Zvidzai. Andira kunyora isenta ndlovu. Ndakunyora. Twangogara. Ndluri, yes. Honorable Senator Chief Mtasa. In that order, we start with Honorable Senator Chawangu.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is directed to the Minister of Housing, Honorable Soda. What initiatives is the Ministry of Housing undertaking to provide affordable housing solutions for middle and lower income families, considering, of course, the huge estimated backlog of about 2 million units with an annual demand of about 40,000 to 50,000 units.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President, and allow me to also thank the Honorable Senator for that very important question. I can confirm, Mr. President, that in 2021, when we promulgated our current policy, we ascertained that we had a deficit in terms of housing units that were required. And the figure that he has just talked about is true, that we had ascertained a deficit of around 2 million housing units. And since then, a lot of effort has been made with regards to reducing that deficit. And you would be aware, Mr. President, that our NDS1 target initially was 220,000 housing units that we needed to do between 2021 and 2025. But when we got to the midterm review, we had surpassed that target, and a new target was assigned to the ministry, which we are currently working on, and we envisage that when we get to the end of this year, we would have done about 1 million housing units, and that comprises of fully completed houses and fully serviced stands. The question specifically, Mr. President, is to do with affordability. The initiatives that we are putting in place as the ministry to ensure that low-income earners are also afforded with accommodation, which is a constitutional right, again enshrined in our constitution. As a ministry, Mr. President, we are servicing some stands in various parts of the country, and the idea is to avail those stands that would have serviced using government funds at a price or at a cost that will enable many people to afford. But that is not the only way by which we are ensuring affordability. Mr. President, with the current policy, we are saying for all new housing developments, the site plan must indicate that 40% of the land would be used to construct high-rise buildings, that's our flats. What we noticed, Mr. President, is that the major cost component of housing developments is arising as a result of the cost of the land itself where the houses are being constructed. So with our densification strategy, or the provision that is now in our policy to build houses going vertical, we are saying we have to take advantage of the same piece of land where ordinarily one housing unit would be constructed. We can do even up to 12 units or more, by taking advantage of the price of that small piece of land. So that is one way by which, as government, we are encouraging that the land be preserved, and apart from preserving, the cost of the housing units is contained through densification. So it is now a policy requirement that for every new housing development scheme, 40% of the land must be for construction of flats, and we think by that policy we should be able to ensure that the housing units that are developed will be affordable. Not only that, Mr. President, Zimbabwe, I'm sure this House sometime last year in September, you also approved the shareholding for Zimbabwe, which is a participant in the Shelter Afrique arrangement, where Zimbabwe used to have 1.5% shareholding. It has now grown to 5%. The shareholding allows
entities or private companies that are in Zimbabwe to access concessionary funding. Already we have some banks that have accessed that concessionary funding, and what we are doing as a ministry is to ensure that as they are doing their housing developments, they are also setting aside, or they are taking into cognizance the fact that the funding would have been obtained on concessionary terms, and that must also be extended to our citizens as they construct houses ultimately, or as they service some stands. So there are so many ways by which we are ensuring that the affordability aspect which we pursue as a ministry is being observed. I thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Honorable Senator Ndlovu, you have a supplementary. Should stand up immediately after. All right, so supplementary. Senator Mlojwa.
Baba Mthungameli ngiyabonga. Ngiyathemba ukuthi uminister uyakunanzelela ukuthi la ama low income izikhathi eziningi kuba yizisebenzi kahulumeni. Umbuzo kade ubuzwe nguSenator Sibanda ukuthi izisebenzi kahulumeni ezisuka lapha ezihlala khona mhlawumbe umuntu usuke ku province yakhe koBulawayo ezosebenzela eHarare. Wenze njani minister njengoba unguminister wehousing ukuthi abantu laba bathole indawo decent yokuhlala bese benelisa ukuyibhadala njengoba behola imali encane? Ngiyabonga.
That question does not really belong to him. That's a question of conditions of service, and you should direct it to the Minister of Public Service. Next on my list is Honorable Senator Ndlovu.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is directed to the Minister of Transport.
Minister
of Transport.
Okay.
From Plumtree to my Tengwe border post, the road is not good, not user friendly. It is bad. We have got a border post which Botswana is tied up to the border, but ours is bad. We are losing a lot of revenue. People have to turn back to use the Plumtree border post. Yet it is very shorter on the Maitengwe border post to the rural areas. So I want to know whether the minister has any plans to tar that road, or to grade it at least, so that it is passable. It is bad to use that road. I thank you.
It's a specific question. I don't know whether the minister wants to answer that, or it's included in his statement. Yes, it's included in his statement. He will give us guidelines. Honorable Senator Fanwell.
Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me this opportunity to speak. My question is directed to the Minister of Housing. I would like to thank all the ministries who helped at Chininga when there were floods. Now my question, everything was done by the government and all well-wishers and churches, and the bridge was built. West, there was one man who passed on by then. Now the houses were built, and when are those beneficiaries going to get into the houses? They are worried. Thank you. Parumba.
Sorry, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I would want to thank the Honorable Senator for the question inquiring as to when government will hand over houses that were constructed to the beneficiaries. The houses were constructed, Mr. President, and after construction we handed over the houses to the ministry that is responsible. the Ministry of Local Government, which deals with civil protection matters. So the beneficiaries were identified by the Ministry of Local Government, and I think when they are through and when they are ready, they will arrange for us to go together to do the handover. All we did as the Ministry of National Housing was to construct, but to know who exactly is supposed to be the beneficiary is done through the Ministry of Local Government. I thank you, Mr. President, but I think any time that will be arranged. It's so sad to hear that some of the beneficiaries are passing on before they have been afforded a stay in their newly constructed houses, but it's something that we will try to expedite given the concerns that have been raised. I thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Lastly, Honorable Senator Zizai.
My question is directed to the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education. Ministers, what plans are in place or are contemplated to improve the recognition of our university degrees, the global recognition and competitiveness of our university degrees? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I would like to thank Honorable Zizai for this question. The question is around the strategies that we have in terms of improving global recognition of our university qualifications. To respond to that question, we are not aware of situations where our university qualifications have been deemed to be not competitive. As a country, we have received issues around brain drain. Brain drain, to me, is about the leakage of the capital in terms of human capital that would have produced from the universities. So if there is a movement of something to a certain region, it means it is coming from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. Meaning to say, as long as our university graduates are leaving our country and hence leading to the complaints of brain drain, it means you are producing good quality. So the issue of our universities being of not that good quality, we have not came across that. We have not even read in what, there's no research even to that effect. So I submit.
Thank you. Honorable Mchango, I am seeing you. But I work on a list. You should have stood up earlier. In any case, I'm just about to say order in terms of standing order number 67. Yes, in terms of standing order number 67. Time for questions without notice has expired. I know you want to ask for an extension, Senator Zindi, but unfortunately we have got a ministerial statement coming. The minister has got commitments elsewhere. I read your mind correctly, didn't I? Thank you. Let me quickly, and in terms of standing order number 67, we move to questions with notice. And unfortunately, we don't have the Minister of Local Government to answer 3 questions. I'm directing the clerk to write to the Minister of Local Government. These questions have been on this paper for too long a time. So questions 1 to 3 are deferred to next week if we do sit, which I doubt. Now, the Honorable Minister of Transport would like to deliver a ministerial statement. I recognize the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development.
Thank you, Mr. President, sir. And let me also thank the August House. Mr. President, sir, I rise today to update this August House on the various road projects that are currently underway in Zimbabwe, as requested by Honorable Senator Chief Charumbira in this House. Mr. President, sir, it is my pleasure to inform you that our ministry is committed to improving the road network in our country, and we are making significant progress in this regard. With the guidance of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, our first recognition as the ministry is that under his leadership, bold and transformative measures in infrastructural development are required to underpin the drive towards the attainment of our nation's Vision 2030. Deriving from the target prescribed by the National Development Strategy 1 to increase the number of kilometers of road networks to meet Southern Africa Transport and Communications Commission standards from 5% to 10% by 2025, and to increase the number of kilometers of road network in good condition from 14,702 kilometers to 24,500 kilometers by 2025. We've already heeded the call of this August House to prioritize and accelerate completion of ongoing road projects. Mr. President said there is a close nexus between a good road network and economic development. In that regard, we've unlocked value from the optimal use of locally available resources, including local contractors, in the upgradation, rehabilitation and maintenance, as well as construction of roads infrastructure. Madam President, I also wish to highlight that year in, year out, this very August House allocates a resource envelope which is fixed, known and quantifiable. As the ministry, we bid for desired amounts for us to touch every nook and corner of the country in terms of road rehabilitation. We are, however, limited by the pressure of multifaceted needs of other sectors which compete for the same cake from the national fiscal cake. We are grateful to our Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Transport and Infrastructure Development, which works hand in glove with the ministry to fight for a certain level of allocation in order to satisfy the road infrastructural needs of our people. However, both the ministry and the relevant portfolio committee, and I'm sure the thematic committee, have a limit given the competition for resources exerted on the fiscus. In any event, it is this August House which has the final say on the envelope we get. Other than our own initiatives as the ministry to tap into the public-private partnerships and concessionary loans for infrastructure, we can only deliver within the framework of what has been allocated by Parliament. For illustration's sake, if Parliament allocates USD 1 million for say 10 kilometers of road, it is only fair that we also be held accountable for the optimal use of such envelope on the targeted stretch of roads. And I'm sure going forward, Honorable Senators, we must be debating based on what is appearing in our blue book. But I'm sure through the initiatives of ministry, we'll also continue to make sure that we've got adequate funding for other roads. Madam President, allow me to address one of the much talked about roads these days, the Bulawayo-Victoria Falls Road. This is a major regional trunk road that provides access to one of the 7 wonders of the world and UNESCO World Heritage Site, the majestic Mosiwatunya Victoria Falls. It links countries north of Zimbabwe, namely Zambia, Tanzania and the Democratic Republic of Congo, to the ports of South Africa. Indeed, the road condition has deteriorated over the past few years as the road has exceeded its design life, and due to increased loading As a result of the high investment required to rehabilitate and upgrade the road to international standards, Bitumen World was contracted in 2023 to attend to critical sections about 60 kilometers under the Emergency Road Rehabilitation Program 2 and pothole patching of the rest of the road from Bay Bridge to Victoria Falls. To ensure sustainable navigable road in the foreseeable future of 7 years, the Ministry is in the process of procuring the services of other contractors to work on the Blawayo Victoria Falls section of the road, still within the emergency road rehabilitation framework. We hope that these emergency works by the additional contractors will be completed in 10 months. For the long term, the Ministry anticipates robust roadworks all the way from Bay Bridge to Victoria Falls in the fashion of Bay Bridge, Harare, with a 20-year design life. In that vein, in October 2024, the Ministry got a cabinet approval for a partnership between the Ministry and Bitumen World to finance, upgrade and maintain the Bay Bridge Blawayo Victoria Falls Road through a PPP arrangement. To date, the partnership is working on the feasibility studies for the road with the view that Bitumen World commences works on the Bay Bridge Blawayo stretch. Madam President, allow me to also highlight the projects we are focusing. The Ministry is targeting the following projects. For the Harare Masvingo Bay Bridge Road, the North-South Corridor project connecting South Africa through Bay Bridge to the capital city, which is Harare. The total open section to date is 492.9 kilometers, whilst 87.1 kilometers is remaining. The project works have resumed and are due to be completed by 31st December 2025. Honorable members, honorable senators of this August House, from Matabeleland South in Masvingo Province, who attest to the fact that contractors are on site working on the remaining stretches. Then come to an important feature of the North-South Corridor along Simon Mazoroze, the Trabablas Interchange Masvingo Glenora Loop, Harare Drive Missing Link, and Amalinda Road and Bridge were completed and opened to traffic last year, 2024. I am pleased to inform the nation that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Damzo Mnangagwa, on the 30th of May 2025, will commission this significant project. All honorable senators of this August House are welcome. Without replaying our past glory with regards to the Greater Harare Roads Rehabilitation Program, which calls swift rehabilitation of the old Mazoe Road, the Boulevard Road, and many more roads leading to this iconic new parliament. Madam President, moving on, we have various provincial projects underway, including in Mashonaland West, where we have Golden Valley Sanyat Road and the completion of the Norton Town Plaza. In Mashonaland East, where we have Dombosha Road, Kadoma Street, Oswald, Murewa Madecheche, Acturas Road, Mushandira Pamwe Weza Road, Nakiwa Manyika Roads under construction. In Mashonaland Central, where we have St. Albert's, Ruya, Mukumbura, and Doda Hondo. And in Masvingo, we have Mutare Masvingo Road Refill, Chivu Gutu Rehabilitation, and Chilonga Causeway Repair Works. In Matabeleland North, we have Blawayo Nkai, the 24-kilometer rehabilitation. In Matabeleland South, we have Blawayo Kezi Road rehabilitation and Plum Tree Poings regraveling. In Manicaland, Nanfarm Access Road, Chipinge Mount Selinda Road, Beshinaf Murambinda Road, Nyanga Rwange Road. In Midlands, where we have Kwekwe, Gokwe, Siabua Asphalt Overlay, Gokwe Choda Road regraveling, and Zimbabwe Military Academy rehabilitation. In the Harare Metropolitan, we have Tongogara Asphalt reconstruction, Alps, which is about 9.9 kilometers left, 5th Street, Sandringham, and Zimbabwe House, Asphalt Overlay, Drummond, Lighton, and Kambuzuma, to mention but a few. I've got an annexure. Members might be worried. This is very detailed. Here I'm just paraphrasing. Madam President, Harare Chirundu Road project, which actually is ongoing in terms of just maintaining it. The road is a continuation of the North-South Corridor connecting the capital city Harare to Zambia through Chirundu border. The scope includes the upgrading, widening and rehabilitating and dualization of certain sections of the road. The main works are targeted to commence first quarter of 2026 and have a construction period of 18 months due to be completed mid-2027. Harare Nyamapanda and Nyamapanda border post. The road is part of the north-south corridor connecting Zimbabwe to East Africa through Nyamapanda border posts located in Mashist. The government has engaged a partner that shall finance, upgrade and maintain the project for a period of 25 years. Chirundu border post, the government entered a PPP for the Chirundu border post located along the north-south corridor to upgrade and modernize it. The border located in Mashonaland West already operates a one-stop border post. Therefore, the modernization shall add value to the efficiency in the movement of goods and people. Forbes border post, a key border post located along the barrier corridor in Manicaland province, is to be modernized, upgraded and expanded through a PPP signed on 28 January 2025. The project works are set to commence by end of the year and be completed by end of 2027. JM Como Road, which is the RGM International Road coming from our main airport. This project will include the airport road missing link and the upgrading of the existing road. The missing link, as you then move towards Braeside, that missing section for the betterment of honorable senators. That's the one I'm talking about from RIGM International Airport. The scope also includes a 1 kilometer long viaduct. Viaduct, it means the road will be going up in the air for a kilometer, and then it would disengage at Idim Nangagwa intersection, where it will then gravitate towards Glenara. And this project works shall commence in the last quarter of this 2025 and be completed by December 2026. Christmas Pass Bypass. The 31.2 kilometer project in Manicaland province will improve road infrastructure development, road safety and road asset management. Works are set to commence by the end of the third quarter of 2025 and shall be completed by end of 2026. North-South Corridor link associated roads. The scope of works include the remaining sections of North-South Corridor, extension of Old Mazoe, the road behind us, to Mazoe Hotel, Chiremba Road, Delport Road, 11th Avenue and Manyame Air Base to Manyame Hospital Road. Bedbridge Bulawayo Vic Falls Road project, 750 kilometer project, will improve the road network and reduce travel time between Bedbridge and Victoria Falls. Kwekwenkai Lupane Road. These projects connect Midlands and Matabele North Province, reducing the distance between Harare and Victoria Falls by 200 kilometers. Construction shall start in the third quarter of 2025 and be completed in 2030. Harare Kanyemba Road and Kanyemba Border Post, 357 kilometers road projects, commenced in February 2024 with a construction period of 5 years, including the border post. This project shall be completed in 2029.
The Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Honorable Felix Mon, of course, giving the ministerial statement with detail in terms of progress of the roads that are currently being constructed in the country, and is really explained in terms of some of the major projects. And to note, you have heard that he said the Trapablas interchange will be officially commissioned by His Excellency the President on the 30th of May 2025. That is next week, and of course there's so much excitement, really looking forward to these kind of projects. He also explained on issues around what has been done in as far as the Bedbridge Bulawayo Victoria Falls Highway is concerned, detailing everything that Zimbabweans needed to know. And of course, so many questions have been raised in the past couple of weeks in as far as some of the projects that were started in various provinces to when exactly is the ministry going to resume. And the ministerial statement really covered most of these issues that the honorable members of parliament in the Senate and also in the National Assembly have been asking, and the minister really did deliver that ministerial statement from the ministry. And we have had issues around that were being discussed by other senators before we got to the ministerial statement on terms of national national housing, the plan for the government to ensure that there is order and to reduce chaos that is currently characterizing issues around land distribution, be it stands, and of course the minister responded to say government has got plans and they are bringing order to the currently chaos that is being witnessed. And yes, these are the issues that were discussed this afternoon in the Senate session, and we give it live to you right here on ZBC News. If you missed it, remember to visit our Facebook, ZBC News Online. You can get to have it in detail on that particular page. Otherwise, for myself, Ian Wambe, the crew behind the scenes, we take you back to our Pocket Studios.
Many thanks to you, Ian Wambe. Of course, we look forward to the commissioning of Trabablas Interchange next week. That's all we had for you in today's Senate question and answer session. Join us next week, same time, for another Senate question and answer session segment. Thank you so much to the entire crew behind the scenes. I am Rumbizai Chakanza. Have a pleasant viewing.